Hey folks, how y'all doing out there this morning? It's been raining a little bit where I live. It's a good morning to be sleeping. I know it's for everybody that has to get up and go to work. Oh yeah, it's a whole different deal. We're streaming live this morning on my YouTube page. It's up there on my Spreaker profile. You can watch the live stream, or you can just listen to the audio, whichever you prefer. I'm glad to announce that we will now be able to do as long an episode as we would like, as I have upgraded my plan, and I hope to be doing longer shows and even more. My email out there, if anybody wants to contact me, is bigalmorgan@live.com or alexmorgan9183@gmail.com. If you'd like to call the show this morning, talk to everybody and myself, the number is 276-243-1548. I want to kick things off this morning by talking about Kathy Griffin and her little thing that she did, whatever you want to call it. Here's a video for the people who are watching on TV.
NASA's Johnson Space Center posted a mini tutorial of Expedition 50 Commander Shane Kimbrough making the famous sandwich while in space.
A lot of things you gotta think about and manage while you're eating up here.
First off, the bread is replaced by a tortilla to make things easy.
But they're showing Trump's tweet. Said Kathy Griffin should be ashamed of herself. My children, especially my 11-year-old son Barron, are having hard times
for sandwiches,
with this
so that's
sick.
what I'm going to use for my peanut butter and jelly. I'm going to stick that down to some tape here so it doesn't go floating.
Kimbrough then demonstrates how he has to stick the ingredients
Oh
to
yeah,
the table
Secret Service has been.
because even
I
the
missed
peanut
it.
butter
I'm
will go
sorry.
flying.
I hate that you audio listeners can't see this. Tyler Shields, the photographer that took the pictures and the video or whatever of those vile images, he said it's always a collaboration. It wasn't completely her, it wasn't completely me either. Without Kathy, I would have never done a photo like that. That's Tyler Shields again. I'll tell you, that was the pure devil that got into that.
I went way too far. The image is too disturbing. I understand how it offends people.
Yeah, whatever. I'm sure you are sorry. I'm sure you are. Let's see if we can find any more videos.
A few seconds like this, I can just leave it, let it float.
And the sandwich ends up looking more like a PB&J burrito, but still pretty good. On After Days. For Inform News, I'm Amanda Putman.
I don't know where that came from. Here's a video from E! News, it says.
has been fired by CNN after her controversial beheading video. The comedian is getting major backlash after posting a vid of herself holding a prop meant to represent Donald Trump's severed head.
As an adult right now, but not for one. 18-month-old puppy. Check out the funny way this pup reacts to it.
Now, CNN will no longer have Kathy host its New Year's Eve broadcast, which she's been doing with Anderson Cooper since
What exactly is this giant
2007. In a tweet, the network says CNN has terminated our agreement with Kathy Griffin. Kathy, who deleted the video, has also apologized.
I sincerely apologize. I am just now seeing the reaction of these images. I'm a comic. I crossed the line. I moved the line, then I cross it. I went way too far.
wall in the sky captured by someone flying in a plane? You have to see this. Plus, the 2017 CMT Award.
Now listen, folks. She can apologize all she wants to. I'm sorry just does not cut it, okay? That she is a grown person. Anybody that's any bit of a grown up knows when they cross the line or would be crossing the line. Especially somebody like her that, you know, has got training to like speak to the public and should like know what to say and what not to say and when to say it and all this. I mean, that's just common sense. Yeah, sure, she's a comic, but that wasn't no act, ladies and gentlemen. That wasn't nothing like that. She wasn't on stage. She wasn't like on a show. That was an attack. You could call it psychological warfare if you wanted to. But you can definitely call it propaganda. That's for damn sure. Yeah, I don't know what she was thinking. Like, as much as the liberals have attacked us and attacked Trump and attacked our nationalist movement, that was way overboard. And anybody with a half of a brain would just get that, you know. Well, and you'd think that she would have maybe asked her agent. I'm sure she's got an agent, you know. Yeah, anybody on TV's got a damn agent. You know, I ain't got no agent or nothing like that, but I'm nobody. I'm a nobody YouTube podcast host who has very little viewership, and I would like to change it maybe a little bit. And again, folks, I don't want to be here doing this stupid show, talking to nobody, and pretty much just recording my damn self, you know. I don't want to be doing this, hoping that 5 or 6 people might see this video and or these videos and maybe agree with half to 80% of the stuff I say, and, you know, maybe start listening every once in a while. That's about all I hope. Maybe meet like-minded people, or at the most reach some young people and really show them right from wrong before they ever get started down the other road. the road that they induct their foot soldiers into. They're brainwashed zombie minions. That's what the majority of the liberal public are. They're brainwashed foot soldier minions, operatives of the elite. And they attack us on anything that we say that they don't agree with. They attack us. If you say one thing that they don't agree with, they will shut you up or die trying. I've seen these people in action. I've not had to deal with very many of them very much, but I have had to deal with a few. And I will say this, since I decided to support Donald Trump, I have lost more friends in the past year than I have lost to death in my entire 33 and a half years on this earth. Now that's pretty sad to think about, let alone say, but it is the truth. But I mean, hey, I know that those people weren't my friends to start with. I know that. I'm an adult. I'm a pretty much an adult, and yeah, I can see stuff. A lot of times I can see it long before it ever happens. But not always. Not always. Bloomberg's saying that Trump has a 55% chance of being reelected as president, which is good news, which is positive news. In the opposite direction of impeachment talk, which we like. That article is from The Hill by Jacqueline Thompson, 5/31/17. It reads, former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg thinks there's a 55% chance, quote, Donald Trump will be reelected in 2020. End quote. Bloomberg, who politically identifies as independent, told New York Times columnist Frank Bruni that he thought Democrats didn't have no effective message to win the 2016 election and could repeat that mistake in 2020. Quote, Hillary said, vote for me because I'm a woman and the other guy's bad, end quote, Bloomberg said in 2016. He said Democrats are still looking for issues and messages, and he worries that too many Democrats are eager to jump into the 2020 race. Quote, they'll step on each other and re-elect, and re-elect Donald Trump, end quote, Bloomberg said. Bloomberg endorsed Hillary Clinton in the 2016 and spoke at the Democratic National Convention, calling Trump a, quote, dangerous premagogue, end quote. I don't even know the definition of a demagogue, but I will definitely find out, because we need to learn stuff every day, folks. A demagogue is a political leader who seeks support by appealing to popular desires and prejudices rather than by using rational argument. Well, I could see how he could associate Donald Trump with this term by this definition, but Um, I have to say, I have to disagree, though, on one thing that he used a lot more. He used a lot of rational argument throughout his campaign. So, yeah, you can't call him no demagogue. That's for sure. Yeah. With all the words in the English vocabulary, that just about half fits Donald Trump. Meanwhile, Roger Stone has got a new website out, encouraging folks to sign his petition to have Hillary prosecuted. You can sign that petition at chargehillary.com. Again, that website is chargehillary.com. Go there and sign the petition, folks, and see that Donald Trump hires a good independent investigator to see into her case and see that she's prosecuted just like she should be. And trust me, folks, you can feel sorry for her if you want to, but if she did go to jail for just like her treasonous acts, that wouldn't be 1/3 of the crimes that she's committed, just since her and Bill got involved in politics. This is a woman who is guilty of numerous crimes, numerous cover-ups. Folks, they covered up their cover-ups. Yeah. The Clinton cartel are the mafia, in my opinion, or were the mafia at one time. That's where about 85 to 90% of the cocaine that came into the U.S. came from back in, I don't know, the late 80s to early 90s. Throughout Bill Clinton's presidency, I guess. You can look into the Arkansas thing. Just type in Arkansas, because like everybody that would get killed by their operatives, their medical examiner would just say that they committed suicide, and them shot in the back of the head, or stabbed in multiple places, and say that they died of natural causes, or just look into Arkansas. There's a lot of videos on YouTube about the Clintons' crimes. There was one incident where there was a couple, I think it was 2 young boys, that eyewitnessed the plane landing in the field and saw them unloading the cocaine, and somehow or another the people who were flying the plane and waiting on the delivery, they saw the boys or heard them or something, and they found them on the railroad tracks, and those deaths were ruled accidental, as much as I can remember. And another thing, Danny Williams, I would think that he is Bill Clinton's son. He looks a lot like him, even though their skin colors are, two totally different shades. You can actually see a young Bill Clinton in his face, in his eyes, and facial features. Roger Stone definitely makes a really intriguing case about Bill Clinton being Danny Williams' father. I know that much. And he said himself that state police would come every Christmas and deliver money to his mom's little shack that they lived in, or whatever it was. And I've even heard the state police's testimony confirm that Danny Williams was telling every word the truth. But yeah, you need to do your part to see that Hillary pays for her crimes against this country. Go over to chargehillary.com and sign the petition. In other news, here's an article talking about Hillary. I'm sorry, folks. I really apologize. My internet is slow as can be this morning. This article says, Clinton, I take responsibility for every decision I made, but that's not why I lost. There's a video. We'll check it out. It's going to take all day.
Background
There we
music.
go.
So let's do it, but it was used. I think we discussed this, you and I have discussed this idea of how many years ago did you talk about the vast right-wing conspiracy?
Let's see, it was probably 98.
Right. And at the time, people thought you were...
A little crazy.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
What is
folks,
it like
a little crazy.
How do you look at it now? Because it is used, because you're someone that's got to know that a target's on your back almost every,
Yeah.
right now, every bot in Russia is working their way with the last 20 seconds of things you said.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. Well, I hope we get into this because, look, I take responsibility for every decision I made, but that's not why I lost. So I think it's important that...
Well, they cut her off, folks, but yeah, she continues to make excuses. The reason why she lost, folks, was because of WikiLeaks, because of Seth Rich. Seth Rich was, they called him a DNC affiliate, but yeah, he was high up in the DNC. That's no secret. They don't be fooled by the mainstream media's narrative that he was just like an average DNC worker or something. That's not the case. He had lots of information about how to get into all their servers, and he saw what was happening to the Democratic Party, how the socialists and the communists have infiltrated it, and it's been going towards the left for the last 20 or 30 years, actually. And Seth Rich, he was a young guy, and, you know, his folks were probably Democrats. I don't know that, but more than likely they were. And, yeah, he decided to expose them for what they were. And that's criminals, that's pedophiles, that's all the above. Yeah. He contacted Julian Assange and gave him all of his information, and they knew what was at stake. He was really scared, I think, to come to WikiLeaks, but I mean, he knew it had to be done, and that's why I'm sitting here telling you about this, folks. That was really a great selfless deed that he did. Not only for the Democratic Party, but for Americans. If it weren't for Seth Rich, Hillary Clinton could be president right now. Yeah. But you look at things that also exposed what was going on with the violence at the Trump rallies, with Project Veritas that come out towards election day, towards the end of the campaign, and it exposed how the top DNC people were hiring people to go to Trump rallies and create violence and attack people and cause fights, and they actually caused one riot in Chicago. And it's thanks to good old folks at Project Veritas who really done the dirty work that needed to be done and exposed those people. And they need to pay for these crimes that they've committed, folks. They really do. And it turns out they're still up to their old tricks. They have it planned to do the same thing this summer, folks. Within the next couple of weeks, during this summer, they're supposed to, whether Trump is impeached, whether their whole collusion with the Russian government narrative fails or succeeds. If it fails, they're going to go to public places and, they're going to go there as protesters to protest Trump not being impeached and riot, cause violence and cause violence against police officers. But if Trump is impeached and their whole Russia narrative succeeds, which I don't think it's going to, which I know it's not going to, let me rephrase that. But, yeah, if that narrative fails, they're going to go to these rallies anyway, and they're going to dress like conservatives and act like Trump supporters, and they're going to riot and do the same thing. And what they're trying to do, folks, is cause martial law, cause us to lose more liberties, cause us to lose freedom of speech, lose our Second Amendment rights. Yeah, they're just up to no good. They want to divide this country. They want to unarm us so that there won't be nobody to fight them when they do take over. And this is something that's really troubling. I know this is hard for y'all to take in all at once. I know that, but you heard it here first, folks. That's what they're planning on doing, and I know that for a fact. That comes from some really high level sources. It really does. But I mean, I hope that somehow we can expose that before it ever happens. I'm sure the folks over at Project Veritas, I don't know what they're up to as of late, but hopefully folks like that are on the watch and really got something other planned, I hope. I'm doing about all I can, folks, with this little podcast. I'm really trying. I'm putting all my heart and effort and soul into this. This is about all I can do at the moment. But I mean, maybe y'all know somebody that's in the radio business or TV business that could get my show, on a bigger, higher platform or something. Some way of drawing some income for what I do. If you like what I do, you can subscribe to my YouTube page, my YouTube channel. I mean, you can go over to my Facebook and you can follow me there. I have a like page. You can go there and like me. You can follow me on Twitter at Real Big Al Morgan, or at Alex Morgan Show. I'm on Instagram at Big Al Morgan. Again, my email is bigalmorgan@live.com, alexmorgan9183 at gmail.com. If you want to call the show this morning, you can. The number is 276-243-1548. I'll probably be on for another half an hour, maybe an hour, I don't know. Be on for a little while, talking to you guys. Be good if I had somebody else to talk to. I got a buddy that used to come on the show when I first started. He ain't been on in a while. John, I was going to see if he was available this morning. It gets pretty boring over here when I'm on the air by myself, but hey, I don't care. I'll stay right here and keep talking to you folks and telling y'all about these damn Democrats and the plans of the leftist elite, the New World Order. We'll talk about anything. I actually have a live chat available on Spreaker. You can reach me there too, I think. But if you really want to get on the show, the number to call 276-243-1548. 1548. I'd love to hear from somebody, just anybody, folks. Give me a call. I've been trying to get this show like in a regular time slot, but now that I can broadcast as much as I'm gonna start trying some different time slots as I have been doing, and now I can get a lot more stats too from my broadcast, and I can pretty much home in on the time slot that is best suited for me and my viewers. So yeah, that's one good thing that's been going on. If anybody would like to donate to the show, you feel more than welcome. I mean, you don't have to give much. $1, $2, $5, it doesn't matter. You can do that over on my website. Go to bigalmorgan.wixsite.com/Alex Morgan Show. bigalmorgan.wixsite.com/Alex Morgan Show. I was actually thinking of upgrading that as well. It's just I don't really have a big budget to work with right now, folks, and yeah, if you don't like pay for that by the year, you have to pay like extra every month, and that really runs into some money too. So I mean, I could really use some support in any way that I could get it, whether it's, you know, sharing the links, just talking to your friends and your family, telling them about my show, telling them about what I do, and just like tell them to tune in, give them my website, just show them the website and be like, hey, here's a couple of his videos that's posted up on his site, you know, and just show them to them and be like, if you want to, you can send him a little money, you know, he has a hard time getting by and he struggles all through the month, and I really need your support. I really do. I've been trying to get a job here lately. The economy, it really hasn't fully healed since Barack Obama went out of office and Trump came in. My part of the world, it really took a big hit with the war on coal. When I got laid off back in 2007, there was you could pretty much get a job about anywhere then, and after about 2009, about halfway into 2009, the jobs just started to dry up like one by one, and then a month or two later, this company would shut down and lay off a couple hundred, and the next couple of weeks another one would shut down and lay off a couple hundred, and the next thing you know, there weren't no coal mines around here. All the people that worked in the mines that are still working in the mines, most of them moved to places like Indiana and Illinois, Alabama, just, you know, to keep working underground or on the surface or whatever they were doing. But like, yeah, the coal there, it's a lot bigger than the coal, most of the coal here. Like, I don't know, like their seams there are a lot easier to get to. Like, all of our bigger seams here are deep down, and they require either a shaft to get to them, or a slope. And if you use a shaft, then you also have to have a slope, because you have to have two ways to get out of the mine. So, yeah. But that's enough about that. I'm sure y'all ain't very interested in a coal mine. I ain't very interested, but I mean, you have to do what you have to do, and whatever, whatever it takes to get by. That's all I know. Here's an article saying that Trump plans to pull out of the Paris climate deal. I saw a tweet on his page last night that said that he would let us know something soon concerning this. This article is from Associated Press, written by Jill Colvin and Julie Pace. President Trump will announce his decision on whether to pull the United States out of the Paris Climate Accord during a Rose Garden event Thursday afternoon. Trump promoted his announcement Wednesday night on Twitter. That's what I just got through telling you about. After a day in which U.S. allies around the world sounded alarms about the likely consequences of a U.S. withdrawal, Trump himself kept everyone in suspense, saying he was still listening to, quote, a lot of people both ways, end quote. The White House signaled that Trump was likely to decide on exiting the global pact, fulfilling one of the principal campaign pledges through top aides were divided, and the final decision may not be entirely clear-cut. Aides were still deliberating on, quote, clavites in the language, end quote, one official said. Everyone cautioned that no decision was final until Trump announced it. The president has been known to change his thinking on major decisions and tends to seek counsel from both inside and outside advisors, many with differing agendas until the last minute. Abandoning the pact would isolate the U.S. from a raft of international allies who spent years negotiating the 2015 agreement to fight global warming and pollution by reducing carbon emissions in nearly 200 nations. While traveling abroad last week, Trump was repeatedly pressed to stay in the deal by European leaders and the Vatican. Withdrawing would leave the United States aligned only with Russia among the world's industrialized economies. American corporate leaders have also appealed to the businessman turned president to stay. They included Apple, Google, and Walmart. Even fossil fuel companies such as ExxonMobil, BP, and Shell say the United States should abide by the deal. Trump's predecessor, Barack Obama, enacted the deal without U.S. Senate ratification. A formal withdrawal would take years, experts say, a situation that led the president of the European Commission to speak dismissively of Trump on Wednesday. Trump doesn't comprehensively understand the terms of the accord, though European leaders tried to explain the process for withdrawing to him in in quote, clear, simple sentences, end quote, during the summit meeting last week. Jean-Claude Juncker said in Berlin, quote, it looks like that attempt failed, end quote. She went on to say, quote, the notion, I am Trump, I am American, America first, and I am getting out, end quote. That is not going to happen. Some of Trump's aides have been searching for a middle ground, perhaps by renegotiating the terms of the agreement in an effort to thread the needle between his base of supporters who oppose the deal and those warning that a U.S. exit would deal a blow to the fight against global warming as well as to worldwide U.S. leadership. The fight has played out within Trump's administration. Trump met Wednesday with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, who has favored remaining in the agreement. Chief Strategist Steve Bannon supports an exit, as does Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Scott Pruitt. Trump's chief economic advisor, Gary Cohn, has discussed the possibility of changing the U.S. carbon reduction targets instead of pulling out of the deal completely. Senior advisor Jared Kushner generally thinks the deal is bad, but still would like to see if emissions targets can be changed. Trump's influential daughter, Ivanka Trump, preference is to stay, but she has made it a priority to establish a review process so her father would hear from all sides, said a senior administration official. Like the other officials, the person was not authorized to describe the private discussions by name and spoke only on condition of anonymity. Anonymity. I can't say that word. Interior Secretary Ryan Zink said Wednesday in Alaska that he had, quote, yet to read what the actual Paris Agreement is, end quote, and would have to read it before weighing in. Scientists say Earth is likely to reach more dangerous levels of global warming soon if the U.S. retreats from its pledge because America contributes so much to rising temperatures. Calculations suggest withdrawal could result in emissions of up to 3 billion tons of additional carbon dioxide in the air a year, even enough to melt ice sheets faster, raise sea levels higher, and trigger more extreme weather. Folks, about half of that article was well written. Well, actually more than half of it. Right there till you got to the biased end of it. Those last few sentences right there were so biased. Like the world was going to end if America got out of the deal. I don't know what y'all believe when it comes to global warming.
You hear about the Transforming Summer Sweepstakes? Totally. Maybe you want to turn to Hollywood if I win.
But I can tell you this. There has been several ice ages throughout the history of our Earth. The Greenland ice samples, I think it was, proved that there were many ice ages. And it also proved that the Earth has a cycle of heating up and cooling down naturally. That one little thing right there is enough to debunk the whole global warming myth. Right here's an article talking about it. Several articles, actually. Let me get one pulled up here and I'll read it to you. This is from Scientific American. Written by William Ferguson on March 1st, 2013. Ice core data help solve a global warming mystery. Why do some ice core samples seem to indicate CO2 spikes trailed increases in global temperatures? It's all about the way bubbles move in ice. Let me move this out of my way right here. Scientists can study Earth's climate as far back as 800,000 years by drilling core samples from deep underneath the ice sheets of Greenland and Antarctica. Detailed information on air temperature and CO2 levels is trapped in these specimens. Current polar records show an intimate connection between atmospheric carbon dioxide and temperature in the natural world. In essence, when one goes up, the other one follows. This is, however, still a degree of uncertainty about which came first, a spike in temperature or CO2. Until now, the most comprehensive records to date on a major change in Earth's climate came from EPICA Epicodome sea ice core on the Antarctic Plateau. The data covering the end of the last ice age between 20,000 and 100,000 years ago show that CO2 levels could have lagged behind rising global temperatures by as much as 1,400 years. Quote, the idea that there were a lag of CO2 behind temperatures is something climate change skeptics pick on, end quote, says Edgar Brooke of Oregon State University's College of Earth, Ocean, and Atmospheric Science. Quote, they say, how could CO2 levels affect global temperatures when you're telling me the temperatures change first? See right there, folks, the temperatures change first. Before the CO2 levels change. That's enough right there to tell you that global warming is a myth. I mean, really. And I used to be the world's worst for believing in this shit. Because listen, I had an education from a public school system that they didn't even have enough sense to think on their own. They were just like a blank tape that had somebody's voice on it, just like these little podcasts right here playing over and over and over. That's pretty much all the teaching that I got. But after I grew up and got a little older, I learned to think and act and live my life, on my own terms, and learned to think on my own and do for myself. And folks, the public school system is awful. But I'm digressing here. Let me finish this article. This is a pretty interesting article. I've never actually read it. Frederick Perrion of the Laboratory of Glaciology and Geophysical Environment in France and a team of researchers may have found an answer to the question. His team compiled an extensive record of Antarctic temperatures and CO2 data from existing data and 5 ice cores drilled into Antarctic interior over the last 30 years. Their results, published February 28th in Science, show CO2 lag temperatures by less than 200 years, drastically decreasing the amount of uncertainty in previous estimates. The wide margin of error in the EPICA core data is due to the way air gets trapped in the layers of ice. Snowpack becomes progressively denser in the surface down to around 100 meters, where it forms solid ice. Scientists use air trapped in the ice to determine the CO2 levels of past climates, whereas they use the ice itself to determine temperature. But because air diffuses rapidly through the ice pack, those air bubbles are younger than the ice surrounding them. This means that in places with little snowfall, like the Dome C ice core, the ice difference between gas and ice can be thousands of years. Perrinon's team addressed the concerns with a new method that establishes the different ages of the gas and ice. They measured the concentration of an isotope, nitrogen-15, which is greater the deeper the snowpack is. Once they were able to determine snowpack depth from the nitrogen-15 data, a simple model can determine the offset in depth between gas and ice and the amount of time the difference represents. The researchers then compared results from multiple locations to reduce the margin of error. Quote, "Our method takes into account more than data and shows that the age difference in Antarctic temperature and CO2 levels is less than we previously thought," Perrinon says. Quote, "I think this could help to change the tone of discussion about climate change," end quote. That's the end of that article, folks. But yeah, there needs to be a lot more science and a lot more people checking into this stuff in lots of different ways. Some like what they've been doing in prior years, and then they need to to do different things. And yeah, do all they can to put this to bed once and for all, because you got Al Gore running around the world promoting a carbon tax, wanting us to pay taxes on our farts and everybody else's farts too. Folks, that is nonsense. We pay enough taxes. Nobody should have to give them another extra dollar than they already get, but whatever. Folks, we just hit an hour here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the show off. Getting pretty boring. Not much more to talk about, I don't guess, this morning. I wanted to make those points and get them out there to you and let them sink in. Maybe the next time I talk to you, we can go into further depth about a lot of this stuff. And I promise, if we stick together, they can't stop us. They can only hope to contain us. And they can't even do that, to tell you the truth. Y'all check out all my pages. I put the links in the description. Go to my site. Leave me some comments. Leave me your contact information. If you would like to help with the Big Al Morgan Show in any way, whether it's physically helping or just sharing the links, word of mouth, or whether you'd like to help us financially, you can find out all about that at my site. You can donate. Just click on the PayPal link. That site again is bigalmorgan.wixsite, wixsite.com/Alex Morgan Show. That's bigalmorgan.wixsite.com/Alex Morgan Show. I'll see y'all real soon. Hopefully sooner than later. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Fire one up, toss one down. Everybody know you've been downtown. Been downtown late last night. Busted your head in a barroom fight. Fighting with your brother, fighting with your wife. Seen you been fighting every day of your life. Can't stand still, still can't run. You put it all together, but it come undone. Soul is junk, brain is dust. All your memories eaten up with rust. Nightmares, real dreams too stark. You love the night, but you hate the dark. Your mama, daddy, little sister too told you a secret that's counting on you. You was dying to tell, but your daddy said, son, button your lip, but it come undone. Undone. world that turns you out when you turn them in. Told you don't come back again. You stack up like old big kids, dead end jobs, payment plan. Broke down trucks, welfare checks, child support, and backseat sex. You'd kill yourself, but you hocked your gun. Built the news, but it come undone. Undone. Now you live in a shack and you wanna be rich, and you would if it wasn't for the son of a bitch. Son of a bitch, a dirty old whore, the butcher, the baker, the grocery store. You hate them, they hate you. What in the world are you gonna do? Well, it ain't your fault, but they need someone blame it on when they come undone. Undone. Now the skies turn black, yeah. Well, the storm's coming in, the skies turn black. It's too late now, you can't turn back. Lightning strikes on the telephone wire. You drunk as a skunk, your shack's on fire. Wife took a baby and the other two kids. Dogs are howling and the chickens are dead. It's your last night out, gonna have fun. Read it in the paper when you come undone. Undone. Thank you much. Thank you.